Welcome to the Recovery Lab podcast, coming to you live from the Line Shot Photography Podcast Studios in Madison, Mississippi. Tim Dillard at Line Shot Photography is Central Mississippi's premier dramatic sports portrait photographer. Teams, individuals, seniors, full media days, any sport, any age. Book now at lineshotphotography.com or email Tim at lineshotphotography.com.
This is the Recovery Lab.
Here we dive deep into the struggles, victories, and hope that stem from recovery.
No shame, no judgment, just truth, grace, and inspiration.
Let's walk this road together.
All right. Welcome back to Recovery Labs, episode 119.
Woo!
I'm David Sugg.
I'm Daniel Anderson.
I'm Brynn Knox.
We are Recovery Lab, and we are here this week with Rankin County Deputy Tony Shack. We're super excited to have you here. I'm excited because I've waited almost my whole life to finally cross-examine the police. Where were you the night of my last arrest? I wonder. No, seriously, we're going to have some fun. It's really, there was a time I thought that law enforcement was my greatest enemy, but turns out there was a time that y'all might have been my last friend. Right. I mean, I would not be where I am today if it wasn't for y'all's dogged pursuit. Y'all were the whale in my Jonah story. God sent y'all after me, and I think you guys for doing what y'all have done. It was hard, but it was part of my recovery story. So thanks for coming in and giving us your side of the story. Brynn, good to see you. It's been a minute since we've been in the studio.
I know. I had a good Labor Day. I went down to the beach with the fam, and it was actually so good. And I almost cried coming back, but it is what it is. What did you do for Labor Day?
We did yard work. And we're selling a house that I built. We're closing on it actually this afternoon. And then just a little punch list over there, doing some odds and ends. But yeah, just laboring.
Sweet.
Yeah. How about you? What'd you do?
I can't remember what we did.
Bust some folks?
No, not Labor Day. I think I just cooked out, and we have kids in sports, so nonstop, all the time. So
I'm trying to take advantage of my last maybe year and a half that we're not constantly on a baseball field or something like that. Because I have a 3-year-old, and so I know once he turns 4, that's going to be my life. I'm going to get a comfy chair to sit on the sidelines. I'm going to get all the things.
we have 4 kids, so we have an 8, a 9, a 10, and a 15-year-old.
Wow.
So so the 8, 9, and 10-year-old is all in baseball and softball, and the 15-year-old girl does the ROTC, which was a complete shock to me. So that's what she wanted to do. She played softball, and decided she didn't like it, didn't want to do it, and was good at it, and wanted to go to ROTC, and she's been happy ever since. So I'm in full support of it.
Man, chasing all those kids and chasing all the meth critters, how do you ever get a little break, man?
Man.
Golly, you got your hands full.
Well, I've done this job for a long time, 20 years, and I guess in a 20-year career, you come across so many different things that you have to deal with. I think I've seen, when you think you've seen everything, you see a little bit more. So,
How did you get started into it? When did you know this is what you wanted to do?
Yeah. So, as a kid, I I'm not going to say that initially that I was like, I want to help the community out, But as a kid, I was terrible. I mean, I did different things. I don't say I was terrible, but I did different things and shot different directions. That's what I'll say. And I figured whenever I got on to the reason why I joined, I'm like, I think I'd be good at it, So that was the original reason of why I started, because I thought that I could be good at it because of all situations that I've been involved in, even as a young kid, So,
Like what?
So I mean, I did the standard things of sneaking out, just hanging around the wrong people.
Yeah.
I'll say hanging around the wrong people. That's what I'll say.
Where'd you grow up?
A little bit of everywhere. So I was in Pearl 1st through 4th grade, and then I went to Jackson 5th and 6th. And sixth and seventh grade. I was still in Jackson. I went to Woodland Hills. I decided I was there for a couple of years. Decided that I didn't know how to go to school, I guess. So I went to the Ed Center then, and then I just still didn't know how to go to school. So guys, I got out of school at 11th grade, and I wound up getting a GED. So
yeah.
So I didn't go with the whole, let me go to college and let me get all this great education. I guess I chose an alternate route.
Yeah. Do you ever have any regrets about that, or are you happy with the way things went?
No, I'm happy with the way things went. I mean, occasionally, I encourage my kids to be better than I was.
Yeah.
So that's the most important part. If I couldn't change myself, I guess I can, maybe make them a better life forward.
Mm-hmm.
So. I mean, hey, look, I have my mixed emotions on college. So, I feel like with a trade, you can make, do just as good in life as you can if you went and did a master's program.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
So,
absolutely.
That's just the way I feel about it. And, everybody's like, go to college, stay there 4 years, stay there 8 years, do whatever you want to do. I mean, realistically, look at me. I literally, I got into the sheriff's office 20 years ago when I was 26 years old. And I tried to get on before that, actually. And my uncle worked there. He's my great uncle. And at the time, he was a captain there. And, and he flat out told me, I think I put in it when I was like 21 years old. He's like, you just don't have your stuff together. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, well, that just set, So I waited another 5 years and got my life a little bit more together and decided to go that route.
Yeah. Do you have any other family members in law enforcement?
No, I do not. I don't have anybody in law enforcement. No, okay. I'm running through family real quick. I'm sorry if I forgot them, but I do not. I do not have anybody in law enforcement anymore. My uncle passed away. He was my great uncle. He passed away at 84 years old, and he was still a captain at the sheriff's office. Rode around in a car and just saw people. Is all he did. He was like one of the public relation guys. So, yeah.
So, do you remember like what your first like day was like?
Yeah, and it was pretty terrible actually. So I started off in the jail, and I worked in the jail. But my first day out on patrol, I remember because I had to ride with somebody when I came out of the academy, and and kid crimes are one of the worst to me. So that was like my very first call, and it was like. And it was actually a 5-year-old that had accidentally hung herself.
Oh no!
Oh my goodness!
So that was my very first call in law enforcement.
Man, you second guessing it after
so
that, aren't
at
you?
that point, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's terrible.
Yeah.
And so I didn't know if I was going to be able to, I guess, mentally work through some of that.
Mm-hmm.
So we see like so many adults that have passed away in law enforcement. But you can always remember, like, I've seen 5 kids.
Yeah.
So you can name your 5 kids specifically that you've seen and how it happened. But I mean, adults we see, all the time. Mm-hmm. And I mean, that's an unfortunate way to look at life. But I mean, the truth is the truth. It resonates. It sits more with you whenever you see a child. So
absolutely. Wow.
Yep.
So tell us what you do for Rankin County Sheriff's Department now.
So I work criminal interdiction for Rankin County.
It's a big word, man. Tell some of our
Yeah.
simples.
Like I hope David asked.
So basically, I mean, basically we have a team of us, and we are a small team, but we are. I will say this, that we are known all throughout the country. We go to conferences once a year. I think this one is next week, and we're going to Charleston, South Carolina, but they're all over the country. We go once a year, and our team is known all over the country, and so we're high on that. I mean, there's only a few of us that are out there that do that, but most people know our team, and what we do is we try to catch. I mean, in lack of better terms, bad guys. I mean, we look for large amounts of drugs. We look for wanted people. We look for missing kids. We deal with everything when it comes to that. Not saying that the small amount of drugs doesn't matter, because it does whenever it's community based. But we look for large amounts that get to the community, and we try to stop them before they get there. We stop and we look for kilos of cocaine or meth or, a fentanyl and marijuana. I mean, you know how the marijuana is now,
Everywhere.
I mean,
man.
it's everywhere.
You walk by a church and you
I
see
mean, marijuana's everywhere. And I mean, when we find 100 and something pounds of it, that's fantastic for us. But the hard drugs we see a lot coming through I-20.
Yeah.
And
So are y'all just like listening for loud music and ground effects on cars or
No.
stuff? Y'all got a call coming
so
in?
and everybody thinks like certain things like, hey, look, like they have a sensor on their car that tells you drugs. Or,
Yeah.
If that
Y'all
were
had
the
one on my
case,
car, I told y'all.
but honestly, I mean, without just giving away a whole lot, we don't look for the guys with the loudspeakers and stuff like that. We just don't.
But some of those cars I see, not y'all pull over, but just in general, you're like, duh.
I know. I saw one yesterday. That was my exact thought.
if you are working, local narcotics, that is a big thing. You're not gonna probably see me pull over a beater going down the road. It's just one of those things, man. I mean, we just don't. We look for certain things, and those certain things, what we look for, and we look for a lot of drive behavior, and we look for how people react to us. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. I mean, you see somebody with 2 grams of meth. I'm just giving an example. I mean, that's like, in our community, let's be real, it's like shooting fish in a barrel.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
Everywhere.
I mean, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't mind working the community side of it, but the larger amounts and all that, sits better with me pulling off when you can pull off several kilos or something like that of dope off the streets. That means that it, like if we pull 10 kilos of fentanyl off the street, I mean, you think about it, I mean, a kilo's 2.2 pounds. That's, 27 pounds of fentanyl. And we all know how much can overdose somebody, and it can be very little. So
How bad is the fentanyl trade right now?
Fentanyl is tough now. It is coming through in groves. That's what I mean. It floods us, and it floods our our community, and unfortunately we can't catch it all, or that'd be great, or we wouldn't have the issues that we have. So that's why we have interdiction teams in the country. And we have different ones in different states or counties or whatever, and we all try to collaboratively knock off those larger loads so it does affect them to get into the communities, and we try to cut that off at the pass. And I would say that the sheriff's office, we work well with. We are called the Rankin Madison, interdiction team. We work well with Madison Police Department, and those guys. We have a couple of guys with them that's on the interdiction team, and then Rankin County, we have a couple of us, and then we join up together on I-20.
Does Texas have an interdiction team?
Oh yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but see, the thing about it is it's a cat and mouse game. I mean, you got to. I guess my thing is the minute you see a car go by, and say if you want to run that tag on the car and see what it is, by the time you look at your computer and you type that tag, 5, 10 cars go by you, So that's how it's all. So I mean, it's amazing. I mean, you look at whatever the industry is. I mean, I think it's a $32 billion a year industry for drugs, you know, that come from different areas. And so, you know, Texas does have, and they do a fantastic job. I mean, we work with a lot of guys from Texas. So yeah.
So, what do you think like some of the solutions are for this problem? Like, and are there solutions that are like viable?
The solutions for the narcotics coming through.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, I wish we could figure that out, or we wouldn't have that issue, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, our team is out there 12 hours a day, and we're out there nonstop. Sometimes we don't leave the interstate for 12 hours. Sometimes we sit there solid, you know. Sometimes we pee on the side of the interstate. We do whatever on the side of the interstate to try to keep to try to not. We work harder, and we are very proactive on the interstate. And in other words, we make a lot of traffic stops. We generate, you know, we generate, you know, we interview people, and I mean, it's nonstop. And so we work hard on the interstate. Our patrol division works hard. I mean, they catch calls nonstop, and you know, they catch calls and go and go and go, and you know, to different calls. And you know, our narcotics guys, I mean, you know, it's like anywhere though, you know, your work's kind of cut out for you. You can only diminish a little bit of it, but you know, certain things wouldn't be successful if it didn't get through, you know, and unfortunately, you know, we got to deal with stuff like that.
I mean, it's just supply and demand. Y'all are going after supply, but what are some of your other colleagues doing about the demand? I mean, is there a way to kind of keep, you know, the kids not getting so interested in it, not chasing down those dealers? Because you can get rid of that need.
Yeah, and you know, I think it's such a hard thing to do, because I guess without touching on and being real, you know, a sensitive base, I guess kids chase it down for, you know, for curiosity at first, right? I mean, it chases it down for curiosity, and then it becomes an issue. We don't have enough programs enough, and I'm not talking about we as a Rankin, I'm talking about as a whole. Like, we don't have enough programs, and we don't have enough help in the community and all that can supply the help for the people that you do go look for it. I mean, you know, we wish there were grants. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that can be done.
Are y'all going after any of that opioid money for some of that? I mean, the state of Mississippi's got $87 million right now. They've got dispersed to help, you know, get rid of, mitigate this opioid crisis.
Right. So that's something that I don't really know about.
Okay.
So I can't talk on something I don't know fully about. So I'll let them. But I'm sure it's been looked into.
Well, hopefully y'all will get some funding for just new technologies and more support too. I mean, that's part of it.
And we want to, you know, the community base. We have a great narcotics team, and they work hard. But you know, it's just like I say, it's consistent. It's a consistent issue, and you know, and with us on the interstate, it's a consistent problem. You know, and all we can do is continue to do what we're doing, and do our part in trying to stop it from getting to certain areas.
It's gotta be. Do you ever get do you feel like you're just like treading water sometimes when you're like, you make these big stops and you got this and you save these lives, and then the next day here comes some more, almost like trying to like stop water from coming out of the water hose.
It floods, and you know, and it floods different ways. I mean, the crazy part about it is, you know, people are like, oh, well, they just stop certain people. No, we don't, because I'm gonna tell you, an 80-year-old man will carry it just as well as a 20-year-old, whatever, you know, a 20-year-old kid. That it doesn't matter who it is. Like, you know, we have stopped 80-year-old people with dope in the car. And I'm not talking about little, I'm talking large amounts.
Yeah.
So it's not that, it's not that, hey, look, let's just go out and look for, I mean, single female. I mean,
I'm married.
to us. Well, I'm just saying, like, when I talk about a single female, I'm talking about like riding in a vehicle by herself.
JK.
Yes, I know. I'm just, no offense. I don't want to take that to no offense. But yeah. So, it doesn't make sense for a single female to go all the way across the country by herself. Does it? It doesn't. Does it? A lot of times, no.
No.
And different cultures do different things. And so,
are y'all able to track up the tree? I mean, when you do find one of these mules, does it pretty much dead end? Or they closed mouthed, or do they start rolling?
Good question.
Yeah, that is a good question. So, sometimes I'll say that because a lot of times certain people don't want to jeopardize their own lives or their family's lives.
Yeah.
And just dealing with the people that we deal with. I will say this: we do further investigate everything that happens.
Yeah.
And we do further investigate and try to consistently build off of certain things.
I'd be terrible at that. I'm like such a people pleaser. I'd be like, okay, let me help you out. Here's his address, and he told me. Like, I would be terrible at that.
But I mean, the people that get caught sometimes they just aren't going to flow that way. And it's not because they're hardcore or anything like that. It's because they're truly worried.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
About their family. And respectfully enough, you in a way have to respect it. I mean, I've met some really good people that are traffickers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I know that sounds really weird, but when I say that they do it, it doesn't necessarily mean they're addicted to drugs, or they're purposely in their mind thinking, hey, look, I'm going to deliver these drugs to hurt people.
Mm-hmm.
They may need money for their family, and they just get wrapped up and get caught. And it's not necessarily they're doing what we feel like they're doing. Hey, look, you're poisoning the community by going and taking, whatever, 10 kilos of cocaine or whatever, meth or fentanyl to a community, drop it off, and it's getting dispersed, and you're getting $5,000 and go back home, and then you deal, and then that's whenever law enforcement has to deal. Whenever it comes to struggling and addiction and all that, was when it gets dispersed in the communities, and that's whenever we see a different side of people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want to hear more about that.
Yeah, so I mean, the different side of people, over time, you do in my 20 years that I've been here, and I think I spent 13 years on patrol, like, in the community. And so during those times, you sometimes deal with the same people. Okay. You sometimes deal with, hey, look, this person has overdosed
Here he is again. Yeah.
We want to revive you, and we want to save you every time. All right. But the problem is they enable it by, like, for instance, if you overdose, what do you give somebody when they overdose?
A little bit of Narcan.
A little bit of Narcan. Yeah. So if you have a little bit of Narcan and you overdose and you get a little Narcan, that's okay. So tell me why the people that overdose have 5 or 6 Narcans in their own possession.
Mm.
And I think that's, so I'll say this, that I believe that there's help in everybody's mind and in their heart, that they want help from, from certain addiction.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know how to overcome certain aspects of it. And from a law enforcement standpoint, looking in, we want to help you. And a lot of times whenever we see you, and it's been long and long and long, and you've reached the bottom of the barrel, then when you finally reach that bottom of the barrel and we have to see you for the bottom of the barrel, that's whenever you decide that you want the help.
That's right.
But all those other times in between are I'll just say that those are trial periods. You know, hey, look, I'm gonna see what I can do here, and then I can do here, and then I can do here. But when you finally get to the bottom of the barrel and you realize, hey, look, I have nothing. And this is where, you know, and that's where we come in and we see this. And when everybody else has left that person's side and we see this, then we have to make a decision, and they have to make that decision that they won't help. We can get them help, but you got to want the help. And if you don't want it, we might as well go outside and shoot a bullet in the air and see where it lands. I mean, it's not going to work if they don't want that. Because, I mean, I've seen over my career, hey, look, I can call a place right now on the phone. I can call them. I can talk to the person. I can set you up to go get yourself help. Will you do it? And look, I had a guy, and I'm not even going to say his name, but I had a guy that I pleaded with on a front porch. He was addicted to meth. I pleaded with this guy for his family, for his wife, for his kids, and I was on. I was on duty. I mean, this was only a year and a half ago. I guess probably 2 years. I pleaded with this guy. He cried. Man, I cried with the guy. I'm like, look, you've got to get the help for your family. Called, got on there, and got on there, got to talking to people, went to the recovery program, and then left a week later.
Yeah.
Walked out on his own, turned right back into the same situation. And I don't think at that time, I don't think he wanted help. So I learned that, hey, look, I can't force you to get it. My force is jail.
Right.
I mean, realistically, that's the only thing I can do with you. You know, I can talk to you and try to send you in the right direction, and I'll even make the phone call for you, but you got to want to do it.
I have a question. Okay. So you aren't one of us, and so you don't know how crazy our heads are and what it's like. Like, it's so hard for us to explain to somebody who's never experienced it what it's like. And so from your side of it, when you see something like that happen, and like when you really go through it with this guy on his porch and he goes to treat, and then a week later he leaves, like, what are your thoughts? Like, what are your real life human thoughts? Like,
Be real.
what a selfish jerk. Like, he doesn't care.
What an effing idiot.
Well, I mean, you know,
honestly,
you know, not just for the person himself, but for his family, I guess. You know, I mean, he's married for a long time. He's got kids, and you know, hey, look, why whenever you're so close and you get right there, and then you get into the help, that you just walk out. You know, I mean, hey, look, that's yeah. I mean, we wonder that all the time. You know, we wonder that. Hey, look, I've been to rehab. A person tells me they've been to rehab. Man, it's been 6 times, 7 times, 8 times, 9 times. So I ask myself, and I don't mean to sound this bad, but then you ask yourself, well, hell, is it the person's problem or the rehab's problem? Who's not doing the right job? I mean, who's not doing the right thing? Is the person getting out and going right back to the same situation, or is our rehabilitation programs? You know, some of them, I'm not going to say all of them, let's just say in general, are they pushing the necessities aside that are needed for people to go in the right direction?
Do people in law enforcement get, like, I know y'all get so much training in so many areas, and y'all probably hear a lot about like substance use and addiction and stuff like that, but do y'all really get like training about like the cycle of addiction in the mind of like an alcoholic or an addict?
Yes, I mean, we go through different trainings, and I mean, it just that specifically all the time. I mean, it changes throughout time. I mean, I think that the drug choices change throughout time of
Mhm.
people, which in turn, an addiction, an addictive to drugs personality comes with anything like, hey, look, I'm willing to try this or something like that. But the drug choices and the mixture of drugs and all that changed so much. So I wondered to myself, hey, look, so if you are addicted to fentanyl, okay, and then but 5 years ago you were addicted to cocaine, is your mind cycle still the same on a different drug, you know, or do you think different ways, or is it just, hey, look, I've just got to have it? And hey, look, we don't know all those answers. I turn to people that do, you know. If y'all know answers that y'all want to put out that would help us better ourselves with dealing with certain situations, we're all ears, and I'm all willing to go back and talk about it.
I think that it like, because it is like trying to make sense of such insane behavior, that it does get difficult. And that's like, I always sort of point to the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous, because it explains the cycle of addiction so well. And like, when we get into this place that they call the mental obsession, and that's basically like thoughts that override all logic. And so when I'm in treatment and things are going well and I'm getting there, but I definitely need more time, like, things in my head will start saying like, it wasn't that bad. Even though all the evidence in the world is pointing to the fact that, yes, my life was on fire and it was that bad. But it's like my brain just plays the craziest tricks on me. And like, it's just the wildest thing. And so if there are any law enforcement officers that do want to like know more about it, like, just get one of those books, like, or reach out to me and I can get you one, whatever you need. But like, I'm telling you, like, the words in that book made so much sense out of things that don't make sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and if I could jump in real quick. So for me, you asked about like the different substances. Do they react differently, or do they do? For me, and I can only speak for myself, a substance is a substance is a substance. If I'm putting it into my body, I'm wanting to change something about my body. It doesn't care if it's an upper, a downer, like alcohol, whatever. Like, there is a hole in my heart, and I'm looking to fill that with some sort of substance or something like that. So it's not, for me, you know, I've tried just smoking weed or just doing meth, like, and every time if I get a little bit of sobriety under my belt, it doesn't matter what I relapse on. I'm just searching for that feeling of comfort and ease that I know will come with that first drink, drug, or whatever.
Right.
Unfortunately, you know, you play the tape through and you wind up in the back of your car, like, every time for someone like me. So I think that law enforcement, first responders, you guys do have a good amount of information out there. But to touch on Brynn's, you know, point, not being an alcoholic or addict, it's difficult to truly wrap your head around like the madness that goes on in our head, specifically when we're in active addiction. We're nuts. I'm nuts, you know? So I think it's wonderful that you have an open mind to this in general. And you're not just like, no, you know, this is the way it is. This is like,
No, and I don't think any I mean, I'm not gonna speak for all law enforcement officers, guys. We all know, just like with anybody else, we have our good and our bads throughout the whole country. Okay, just like you know, I mean,
the Circle K that I go to, I'm telling you, like, there's one that's great, and then there's one that is just a bad apple.
Yeah.
I hate going in there when she's in there.
Yeah, so
every place has them.
Yeah, I mean, so every place has the, you know, the law enforcement officers really stuck on one thing. I will say, I will speak this for the sheriff's office. I'll speak this for Rankin County, is that when we do get people in our jail and we do open up the trustee program to certain people and I don't know the full details, so I don't want to speak on it just like, hey, in detail, but I will say that we have a strong trustee program that allows people to go through and allows people to mentally get the help that may have been addicted and turn their life around and go through different things and be assigned tasks that makes them feel accomplished accomplished in another way versus, hey, I'm accomplished in putting substance in my body. I'm accomplished. You have a good trade. Okay. You know how to do this. Let's let you do this. And this is what you're responsible for in our trustee program. Hey, look, you may be a good painter. Hey, go around, paint the walls, do all the painting, do stuff like that. Make yourself, and that way it builds these people up that may have been rock bottom.
Something to do, yeah.
Yeah. So rock bottom. I mean, rock bottom for people is, and I can't speak from the addiction side of rock bottom, but I can say in life and in general, when you hit rock bottom and you decide that you want to change, the only person that can do it in their mind is going to be you with the correct help. And so I guess whenever, like we touched on before, when I hear 6, 7, 8 rehabilitation programs, what happened during those 6 and 7,
I got a question. So there's lately been some talk about a lot of, and Oregon and Portugal have done this like legalized things, legalized lots of substances.
Right.
But basically, sometimes they've opened up clinics where they've even given the stuff away. But the idea is you've got kind of this prohibition, this paradox. It is like the more we prohibit something, the higher concentration it gets. So the mules get more bang for the buck. That's where you're starting to see the fentanyl.
Right.
Now there's something coming behind it called carfentanil. It's stronger. So in your opinion, like this is your business of like stopping this dangerous stuff from getting on the street. How do you feel about maybe the government regulating and taking some of the power out of the cartels? Heck, we've seen it now play out with the weed stuff. We're seeing that medically go through shops. Do you have any insight on maybe how we can weaken the cartels?
The cartel is so large, and I get it. There's certain ways to do certain things, and there's certain ways to regulate it, but the regulation of it is so minor compared to the vast amounts that there are. I mean, you can regulate a little bit here and there, but I mean, they've been successful for years and years of making money and ruining people's lives. I mean, for as long as we can all remember, and so, yeah, I mean, the government can play a role in it, but I think that, I think community-based and all that, and us, I mean, doing our part is just constantly being proactive. And hey, look, proactivity, if we're proactive here and you're not proactive in the next city screwed.
Yeah, drugs don't have borders. Yeah,
they
don't care.
And there would be nothing for somebody to be like, hey, look, I'll drive 10 miles over here and get something, So, I mean, I wish I had a good answer for that. I don't, though. I do see what they're doing over there, and I wish that on a higher power note throughout the country here that they would do something like that. But I don't think that they're ever going to be able to completely regulate the cartel here. I think that they make triple the money of what they did. However long ago.
Yeah.
10 years ago, 15 years ago, I think they make triple the money off of what they make. I mean, it used to be weed all the time. Hey, look, the old Mexican brickweed.
Yeah, I grew up on that stuff.
I mean, the Mexican brickweed. And you just don't have that. If you don't have it anyway, you're not going to find a bale of Mexican.
Maybe a museum somewhere with
the old brickweed
seeds and still.
Yeah, you're not gonna find that anymore.
Yeah.
You're just not. And so yeah. Sorry, guys.
So how about non-drug stuff? I mean, if you're out there on the interstate, I'm sure. I mean, what about weapons and people? Are you seeing a lot of that coming through 20?
Yes. So I will say what regulated a lot was the illegal population coming through. That regulated a lot, because I'm telling you now that there were times, and I'm not the only one out there on the interstate that's not, but there are times that I could stop a small car, and I had 9 people in it come from just illegal, illegal immigrants coming up, and now Border Patrol, they are out and about, so they are they've been a big help on cutting down that stuff. As far as missing people and all that, man, look, we love it when we can find a missing child or something like that. Man, that just, you can hit dope loads after dope loads and all that, and you can save lives like that. But when you save a life that is currently at risk right then, rather they be 5 years old, 6 years old, we've seen it. We've seen 5 and 6 year old on the front seat of a car that had been taken from Florida, and we stopped them. And so
what is that feeling? Walk us through that feeling when you make that realization.
Yeah, I mean, the realization is that when our team stops somebody that has a missing child or a person in general in the not just a child, but an adult, I'd say it's a real feeling of accomplishment. That's what I'll say. Hey, look, I get to return, or we get to return this person back to where they belong to, and and just a sigh of relief. And however it may end, in that situation, the good thing is we got the person that was missing. So missing people, trafficking people. I mean, look at it all. It all comes.
Are you seeing a lot of that?
Not so much now. Not just a lot of it.
How do you know? Like, how do you know if someone's being trafficked? And is there a sign that someone could give you?
Yeah, no kidding.
A sign. Like, I love that. Like a sign that's like definitively, like, like this person is in danger right now.
So I mean, if I feel something's not right, I'm gonna figure it out till it's right.
We ain't got to talk about voodoo. Voodoo's trained to strike on different drugs and different things.
Yeah.
Do y'all ever train your dogs just to strike on bullshit? Like when they just smell something right? Like, no, this guy's got something high.
Yeah. I know he's got something. No, because I think, with voodoo, for instance, he's 10 and a half years old. I've had him at here for, voodoo's been working for 7.5, 8 years with me. Y'all,
Voodoo's kept a job longer than me.
Man, he has been every bit of successful in his career. I'll say that with me, I'm talking thousands of pounds of drugs. I'm talking 26 violent felons that he has gotten and bitten. He's had 25 that have given up. And not wanting the guy bit, So I mean, he has been very successful, and I'm gonna retire him this year and let him hang out,
Man.
But to answer your question, I'm sorry, I was trying to avoid your question about the people and the sign.
Yeah.
So there is when people, it depends on the culture, and I won't elaborate into that a whole lot, but I'm gonna say culture based. If somebody is taken from another area, like even if it's from another country, those people know they cannot say anything or something will happen to them worse than what's happening to them there.
Right.
So culture based. Now, if it's like somebody that's just missing, they'll be like, if you ask them, 6-year-old, who is that? Oh. They're going to be real with you. But culture-based, which is where a lot of the trafficking happens with people, culture, they won't say anything to you. So if it just don't look right, if it just all don't fit together to me. You know, a lot of times I interview people separately. I'll pull them out, talk to them, hey, look, you know, and talk to them and just find out, you know, who's with them. You know, is it your family up there? What's your kids' names? What's, you know, just kind of talking to them and finding out. And, you know, be amazed at some of these kids. I mean, even nowadays that are 15, 14 years old that look 25, you know, I mean, you don't even know. And, so, you know, you like to ask them, you know, about their kids and all that. But as far as the sign, no, I go off, I just go off a vibe of what I'm visually seeing. Kind of like, I use this kind of analogy here is kind of like whenever you were talking about in addiction, how your brain just storms and it just goes. Our brain during something like that, certain ones of us that are trained to look for certain things, storm, and it comes and it thinks of all the possibilities that something could be, and those flood our system until we find out everything about it.
That's such a cool way to put it.
So we try to do that in our side of life, because on I-20, on the interstate in general, we deal with people that come from, I mean, it don't matter. If you can get here by land, we can deal with you.
Yeah.
And, you know, I always tell people I like to work interdiction because I deal with people from other states, other countries. I deal with stuff like that. And I can keep my community base to people positive. Because when when people see like patrol come up, our patrol does a fantastic job. They see patrol come, oh man, the cops, you know, I hate seeing. But if like my job out there on the interstate, they stop us. They are trying to cat mouse us. They're not like old cops. They're like, hey, I'm gonna try to outsmart this guy, and they're friendly. They're friendly.
Yeah.
They can have 100 pounds of dope in there and they're friendly. They're like, oh yeah, you know, I mean, as nice as they can be. And, so, I try to keep the local community side of it, a positive outlook. That's why I like dealing with, you know, if I tell people, hey, look, I work criminal interdiction on the interstate. I don't do a lot. And, you know, I don't come to your house for calls, and I don't go off the, you know, it allows a little bit more solidification with the community and the police, because a lot of people don't know that the interdiction side of our job, you know, and a lot of people just know, hey, look, patrol, the cops are at my house, you know, and so. Community wise, I like to be able to see people that I've dealt with even in my past career and see them doing good. You know,
do you run across that a lot?
All the time.
Yeah,
all the time. You see people. Look, I may see somebody. It may come right up to you. Hey, Shaq, man, I'm doing good. I'm doing really good. I probably, you know, and normally, you know, that's good to see, and people with jobs and people that are doing you know, they've bettered themselves, you know, for life. You know, I may have seen them. They may have been 80 pounds last time I saw them. They may be 280 next time I see them. So, you know, you know, so, you know, they're like, hey, you're doing good.
And I wish I could remember the EMS people that came to my apartment before I went to treatment. Like, I wish I could remember who they were so I could apologize to two of them. And then, you gotta love one of them, and the other one you gotta just treat like they're a villain, and like I don't know, it's ridiculous. But just so I could tell them thank you and that I got better.
Same way with law enforcement, though. Look, if you have 2-3 cops together, look, most of the time people that are suffering or have, they're going to pick one person that they like, and the other two can go to hell.
Yeah,
I mean, that's all it is to it. They don't like you. They don't want to talk to you. And to me, in that situation, I don't care if I'm that person they like or not, unless I like somebody.
Yeah,
I would. I'd be like, hey, I got you.
Yeah,
those guys.
Yeah,
I tell you what. Every time I was arrested, and there's probably over almost 100 times, there was a point in every event where I felt the greatest sense of relief. Because for a minute I was like, I'm gonna get some rest. It wasn't always early on, you know, it wasn't always as soon as
Right.
I got in the back, but at some point, I've been halfway through the bookend or when I finally got in my cell or at some point, I felt relief. Do you ever see that change in some of the guys who are just like, oh, the gig's up. I can
Yeah.
breathe.
So, you know, I'll say that I'll say that it's forced rest in a good way. You know, I mean, and it's I would say like then whenever you come into like our jail and we say, you know, hey, look, you're going to get forced rest, which in turn is going to better you mentally, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so you have a schedule then and you have no choice. There's no choice then. You have choices whenever you're out and about. You can go here and there, but whenever you get there, you have no choice. You have to rest. You have to pull it together, and mentally you have to. And that's why, like, if we take you to jail because of whatever reason, whether it's, you know, drugs or whatever, and we know we're not oblivious to the fact that people have withdrawals.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
it doesn't matter if it's drugs or alcohol.
Alcohol's worse.
They're going to have withdrawals. And
Really?
it is worse. I'm telling you now, because my stepdad, a prime example of it. I mean, you know, love him to death. He don't drink anymore, but I mean, look, he had to go up to the one in Oxford Harbor. I can't remember. It was like a alcohol, and I'm telling you, it's just that, like, with that though, yes, a sigh of relief, yes, because it's no other choice. Did you feel like you had a choice?
I didn't. And that was the thing. When I was out there, I didn't have any choices. And to finally, I mean, I had to do that thing, and to finally be like, all right, you're on lockdown.
Yeah.
It was just a part of me. I didn't have to fight anymore. I
Right.
had to feed that monster.
Mentally, you knew that you couldn't go find what you knew you could always find.
Yep. But as soon as y'all let me out, man,
As soon as we let you out, you're a goner.
Yeah.
You know, and that's where it comes to where, you know, I say, look, you're not gonna want to help yourself until you want to do it yourself, you know. And I mean, for instance, if you stayed in there for 3 or 4 days, you know, in jail, and you're like, man, when I get out, you already on day 4, you're already planning in your head where you're fixing to go as soon as you get out there to get what you need to get.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all it is to it. And look, that's the way it all it trickles people downhill. And whenever I brought up the thing earlier about, you know, what's the first thing people give when they overdose? They give them Narcan. Well, supply and demand. I mean, I see people that are overdosing all the time that have 6-7 month Narcans with them, you know, and great to save your life, but bad because you know you can keep doing it and revive. And those who don't have that luxury of the Narcan, if we don't get there soon enough, they're gone. They're gone. And you know, I have pumped a lot of Narcan into people in my career, a lot of Narcan, and sometimes, you know, it takes 2 or 3 of them to get them. But what if they didn't have it?
Gone.
They're gone.
Yeah.
So I guess my question to y'all, the mental mindset that you know that you can overdose on something, and if you don't have that luxury of having Narcan to revive you, what is the thoughts there? Is it just, hey, look, I'm here to get high and I don't care if I die?
You mentioned outsmarting. I'm going to outsmart this guy. You know, you mentioned the other whatever they are, the traffickers, and I kind of would think like that. You know, I mean, a kind of a grandiose, like I'll figure it out or it'll be okay. But the real magnitude, the real depth of it doesn't really hit me.
Same.
Right.
I always thought like it's not going to happen to me.
Right. So, but you know, I've seen. I can't count on fingers and toes how many overdoses I've seen that end up with dead people. You know, so I guess my thing is that's what I wanted to figure out is like, hey, look, what is the mindset there? Because we as law enforcement officers don't understand the mindset. We come in there, we're like, hey, look, we get that you're wanting to get high, But
Slow down.
if you are wanting,
Yeah.
if you're doing fentanyl and you're like, hey, look, there's a possibility, because I'm gonna tell you, the supply that come from the fentanyl is the supply that got past us on the interstate and came in the community. It goes to local drug dealers, then they cut it with different stuff in order for them to make more money, and then they put it out to y'all. I'm not saying y'all, I'm just saying the people in general, they put it out to the community. And then what? They don't care if you die or not.
Mm.
So I guess, you know, what I don't understand, and I get passionate about it, is like, if you don't care if you die or not, why should they care? Because they can consistently make money off of people like that. But if you die because you overdosed on fentanyl, there's another one standing in line to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's no skin off of their back. So all the narcotics that come through, we talk about the narcotics that flood the interstate, those that we miss that get brought into your local drug dealers and they disperse them throughout the county or the city or wherever it may be, whether it's here, wherever, I don't care what state it's in, but if they disperse it throughout and they cut it with different stuff to make them a little bit extra money, and then it comes to Brynn or David or Danny, and that's what happens, and y'all do it. I guess mentally, I understand that y'all are wanting the initial high of it, but I guess overall, the totality of it, I don't understand, and we don't understand a lot of times, of like, death is also an option.
Mm-hmm.
And are you willing to give up your entire life for one high? And I guess that's where, that's where I'm at with something is, hey, look, are you willing to give up your entire life for one high? Because if you don't care about your life and you are about to die because you have overdosed, and I come in there with Narcan or patrol, anybody, I'm just saying, as a law enforcement officer, we come in there with Narcan and we Narcan you and bring you back to life. That means we cared enough about your life to bring you back to life. So why are you so selfish enough to not care about your own?
I'm going to say something real quick. You mentioned, we use drugs to get high. I would present shifting the perspective. Like,
okay,
when it gets to a point, we're not doing the drugs to get high. We're doing the drugs because they work in numbing our mind and numbing our heart. It's not like when I would put meth in my body, it's not, oh, I can't wait to get high. Although it did feel good. The reason that I constantly had to have drugs in my system was I was fighting battles from my childhood, from trauma, from the wreckage that I had created. And the only way for me to escape that was to put a chemical in my body. And then I would feel guilty that I was putting a chemical in my body, and I would put more chemicals into my body because it would numb me even more. So it's not necessarily we're just being selfish and I just want to get high. I want to feel good. Like, no, like, we want to put something in our bodies that's going to numb the way that we're feeling right now because we feel so absolutely destitute and awful about the way that we are right now and what we've gone through in the past. So,
okay. So, I will say that I agree with you on that. I will say that, though, in the last 5 years, the drug change in general you may have put something in your body 5 years ago, but the way that the drug has changed throughout the last 5 years is a life or a death situation.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about in the last 5 years, they have manufactured, learned how to cut dope, learned how to do all that in the last 5 years that can kill you like that. I get the part of easing your brain and easing your mind. Okay. Look, I had anxiety terrible and got on medication for a long time. Not the same thing. I'm just saying, like, as a way, that was a way to ease my mind. So I understand that side of it. But what I'm saying is, totality wise, in the last 5 years, it's worse than, hey, look, I'm just trying to ease my mind.
Yeah.
It's a, hey, look, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to lay here and I'm not going to breathe, or I'm going to agnal breathe until somebody hopefully comes and saves me. But if nobody's there to save you, you are dead.
Right.
You're then not easing your mind. You went to start off to maybe ease your mind, however it may be. But selfishly, you have a family and you have people that love you, and then it takes somebody like a law enforcement officer or an EMS to come in there and revive you, because we give a shit about your life.
Mhm.
Right.
So, how would it look if we came in there and was like, man, it's like the 6th time this guy got high.
We're all out in our kid, dog."
Let him suffer.
Yeah.
That's it. That's not okay.
Yeah.
You know why? Because you're a person just like I'm a person, just like they're a person. So, I mean,
But you also never know, that 6th time could be the time that person gets it.
right. And it could be the 6th time that they die,
Right.
I mean, so why do they want to, why is it a game of more or less of roulette with a life? You're put here for a reason. If that is the way that a person chooses to live, we want to supply the help for you. But if you continue to do it, there's going to be a time that, hey, look, what if this happens to you and I can't get there in 20
Right.
minutes? I can't get there in a certain amount of time. Then what happens? We feel bad, okay, because someone dies.
Yeah.
We don't go in there and be like, they deserved it.
Yeah.
We feel bad because we are still people. The difference between us and the outside world is y'all don't come in there and look at the people that are dead and determine why they're dead, turn them over, got to go tell their family why they died and all that. You just look at hey, look, I'm outside, this person died. No, there's a lot more to it that you go in there and do. There's a lot more to it. There's a pulling a needle out of an arm. There's a trying to revive a person. There's doing CPR for 30 minutes, breaking a person's chest. It's all of those things that people don't understand.
Man, we appreciate your service. You've been with the force now 20 years.
20 years.
You've been doing this interdiction for 7 or 8. A lot of
Yeah.
work. What's next for you?
Oh, wow. I'm going to get another dog after Voodoo.
Yeah.
I love where I work. I've never worked anywhere else, any other department. I'd say they've been good to me. Rankin County is one of the safest places in the state to live. Everybody knows that. It's because of it's because of our community, and it's because of the policing there.
Yeah.
And so next for me is I love my spot where I'm at. And as long as they keep me there, I'm 47 years old, so I'm not looking to retire anytime soon. Hey, if I retire, what would I do? Sit on it, not get all my money?
Yeah.
Just sit there.
Yeah.
So I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing. Other opportunities have came up, throughout my last 5 years of my career, but it's nothing that I want to do, or I have more passion to do than what I do right now. I don't want to go sit behind a desk and do all that. Not even in law enforcement. I don't want to go sit behind a desk or anything like that. I need to be active. So I will get another dog. I've been looking at some, so I'll get another dog and I'll
Did
start.
you tell him yet?
He's disappointed. So the problem with it is with Voodoo is he is old. He's 10 and a half years old. He is a shepherd. He's from Czechoslovakia. Those are the commands that I give him, is in Czechoslovakian. So he is, but he's gotten to the point to where, hey, look, I can get my front half in the car, but can you help me with the back half?
Same.
So, so I kind of put him up in the car, and he is, he's just a fantastic dog. I don't get him out on a lot of tracks anymore. They had a deal up here in Ridgeland not long ago. It was a strong arm robbery over at walk-ons, and they had a big mess out there. And it was the middle of the night. I came up here with Voodoo, and I was like, I'm gonna go down here where nobody else is. There was a bunch of officers, in one section of woods. I'm like, I'm gonna go down here. I was behind Mac Hike, I think, or whatever the dealership is right there past the Ridgeland exit. I got him out. There's a little strip of woods. I go walking down a strip of woods, and I was kind of walking, me and him, and I know him like a book. So when he perked up and he shot in the woods real quick, I'm like, whoa. So I kind of let my lead go out a little bit, and I was like, and he was tight on my leash, and I just said, hey, if you don't, and I didn't even see the person, pitch black dark. I was like, hey, if you don't come out, you're gonna get bit. And he goes, I'm coming out. He was hiding in the woods. I was like, I said I had to get his walker out of the truck, walking.
Man.
So my deal is I'm gonna stay where I'm at.
Yeah.
I'll have me.
It's cool.
I like it. Well, we appreciate you so much. We appreciate everything you do for the community.
Absolutely.
The amount of lives you guys save on the daily is just, it's amazing. And I don't know if you guys get enough credit for the hearts that you have as well.
Right.
And so we're just grateful, and we're grateful you're here today.
Well, we
Thanks,
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Oh.
And before we go, Tony wouldn't tell this story because he's not like this, but I think there's a lot of negativity surrounding the outlook on law enforcement these days. And I think that I'm just going to tell a quick story about Tony, and this was in the news. You can look it up, but Tony was at work one day, and this was an 18-wheeler, turned over, caught on fire, and this person would have died, but Tony ran over, risked his life, crawled up in the truck, pulled the guy out, and saved his life. And so quick, people are, oh, well, law enforcement, they're doing this, they're out to get me. But the reality of the situation is 99.99% of law enforcement out there are people just like Tony. They do those kind of heroic, I can't say that word, actions, not because that they think that their heroes are special, but because that they have a desire to serve the community. So when we start thinking about how law enforcement is so awful and they do so many bad things, I just bring a mental picture back to some dude that has a family at home running over to a burning truck and pulling the Joker out.
Yeah, that was a crazy deal. I don't know how much time you got, but
we're good. We're about wrapping up, but go ahead.
That story was, I literally was going up the interstate, and as I topped a hill, I saw an 18-wheeler go off of the road. It was up in the deal, and I mean it went into complete flames. And I still talk to this guy to this day. He'll message say, "Look, I'm here because of you. I appreciate you." But I got out of my car and I was like, "Oh man!" I heard a kid screaming, and so I didn't know where the kid was. So I went running up there, and there was a car that he had hit, and it drug up in there also, up in the woods, and the kid was behind a laid down tree. So I grabbed the kid and I ran him up a hill real quick. I sat him there. I'm like, sit down here. I looked at his parents were climbing out of the car window, and they're like, the driver of the 18-wheeler's in there, and it was on complete fire, and he had been ejected. He was laying next to, and I mean, it was covered in flames. And I went running around the side, and I saw him laying in there. And I'm like, oh man, this guy's dead, because he looked dead to me. Well, the fire caught him and caught his shoulder, and he just turned and looked at me. And I was like, crap. I said, I was going to get him anyways, but I'm like, he is alive. It's a different ball game. So I ran into into that fire, and I felt like, I was like, this is when my circus career began. So I was running through the fire, and I grabbed him. And I started dragging him out, it was eating me up. The fire it was so hot, but I got him out, and I just kept dragging him, and finally got him out there. And I was in shock, like
you were.
Mental shock, I guess, because I mean, I was shaking like a leaf. It was a crazy deal right there. That was really crazy.
And that's the stuff that these guys do day in and day out. And without them,
Yeah.
we're shit out of luck.
Yeah,
So
it was never even a thought to go get the guy. So I mean, to do something like, to what I'm saying is there's a lot more of me out there that would
absolutely.
there's a lot more of me than there are not of me.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. Well, we appreciate you so much for coming on. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next time on the Recovery Lab.
all right.